seen it since the time that I worked the streets in the South End. But the problem may be is this: how diverse will the rest of the people, will they accept the diversity? And that's what it comes down to. The citizens have to accept it too. You can present it, but it's the citizens of the community who must learn to accept it also. We are going to grow, and there's no doubt about it. So we have to get together and learn that everybody is a human being and everybody is equal. And that's one of the things that first we have to be able to fix is the thoughts of the people. And as far as things like drugs on the streets, I've seen it. We've been fighting drug wars for years and we still haven't won. And we're not going to win until things major change in the whole country. And that's the way it has to be. But you also have to be able to put the people on the streets and law enforcement that understand what's going on and to accept what's going on and to be able to work with these people. Some of these people can't help it. Some of them are in bad positions. But the first thing is you have to put the police officers on the streets. Otherwise, it will continue to grow. And I've seen it, trust me. The $30 million we spend in the South End to clean it up, I'd be willing to bet it's probably starting again because I know we keep patrol cars down there. So those are the things that we have to look at. And as far as homeless, believe me, I worry about homeless all the time. Do you know how many veterans are on the streets and we can't even give them a home? Can it be helped here in this city? I think it can. And I think that the council would be more than willing to stick their hands out to help if any way possible. Thank you.
I think if you want to see diversity, you come into the schools. We've got students who are English as their second language. We have lots and lots of diversity in our schools. Being in elementary school, we get children that come in that can't even speak English. But when they come to the library, they know what a book is. There should be more programs. Whatever happened to the DARE program that we had in our schools? I think it helped. I don't know if anybody else did, but I thought it helped out. It helped out my two daughters when they went to school, who are now 38 and 35. I think we need programs in the schools to continue on with that. Maybe even reach out to the parents of those students who can't talk, or can't speak English. Maybe help out with the parents too. Get some kind of programs going on. We need to connect the schools and the city together with those kinds of things. I know we're two entities, but we need to kind of connect them together and see what can we do to help this situation out. And the homeless, I agree. We need more police officers out there to help out with the drugs and things that are going on in our city. Without our Eyes of Our Taylor on Watch group, that's an awesome program. If anybody doesn't have it in your neighborhood, come see these ladies up here because that is an awesome program to get going into your neighborhoods. Diversity is here. Don't know what the solution is for all of the homeless and the transit and the drug problems. But as a city council, I hope we can kind of get our heads together and figure out some kind of programs that we can do to help all of this. Thank you.
With respect to diversity, one of the best things we can do is just have affordable housing. And that brings young families in, so if you can afford the house, it leads to diversity, so we become a microcosm of a larger society. With respect to homelessness, actually at the Knights of Columbus, we do maintain a food pantry with St. Vincent de Paul. So while you can't sleep there, we do help feed people. So there are a lot of programs out there, as long as ChristNet, we work with them. So there are ways to help the homeless. But that's at the end stage, and I agree that we do have a huge drug problem. You're basically talking about the opioid crisis, okay? What's happening is people are getting prescription painkillers for minor injuries. They're getting a higher prescription painkiller. They're getting cut off, and they're going to heroin. And that's basically how that works. State of Ohio, state of Missouri, a few other states have sued the big pharmaceutical companies for being very misleading on the addictive nature of the opiates. So I'm telling you, if you get hurt and your doctor prescribes you a painkiller, just say no. Because you really can go up this slippery slope or down a slippery slope. So what can we do as council? Well, a lot of that is actually handled at the state and federal level. But what we can do, I would hope, is to, with the heroin, because we obviously can't regulate the prescription drugs as much as I wish we could. But at the heroin, we definitely don't want to have catch and release. When we do catch the people, we definitely want to prosecute them. We want to give them a deterrent so they don't come to Taylor. Because that's what you're getting the issue, and then they become homeless in Taylor, then they do the panhandling. So, ideally, you could prevent the drugs, I think, by better regulation of the initial prescriptions. We can't do that. We're dealing with more the end stage issues. And when we do find people, especially around schools, especially around kids, to where they are using heroin, because that's normally what they're doing, or they're trafficking prescription medications, at that point it becomes an enforcement issue, and we can't be afraid to enforce those laws. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I respect all of our citizens, regardless of the diversity that's involved. As a city council person, I welcome all people who want to come to our town, buy a home, send their kids to our schools, and be law-abiding citizens. The drug problem, as a city council person, there's not a whole lot of things that a city council person can do to try to avoid drugs. But I can tell you I'm a victim myself. My family's a victim of it, from my granddaughter's father making poor decisions to my best friend's son stealing from me for drugs. So there's not a whole lot that we can do as city council people, but I can tell you it affects everybody, and those people that are affected by that the most are the family members who are trying everything they can do to help them. The programs are there. You just got to guide them and direct them in the right direction. And I get blamed for being a little bit too passionate at times, but you got to have that passion to be able to do the job that you're doing, taking care of the citizens. I made a commitment. I'm going to stand by it. I will be in the neighborhoods. I will know who our citizens are. I'm going to work with those neighborhood watch coordinators. I'm going to know exactly what's going on and who's doing it, and then we're going to fix that problem overall. The homelessness, I can only house so many people in my house, but there are plenty of programs, and my wife and I have. We've taken care of homeless people. We've taken care of indigent people who needed some help. So I appreciate the opportunity to address that. Thank you.
Is it making noises? Okay, there we go. I couldn't agree more with the words Mr. Woolley said when it came to diversity in the city. I think anybody who can do the job should be able to do the job. I don't think diversity is a big problem here. We do have a wide range of residents from different spectrums, socioeconomic income classes. Getting the youth involved, getting young people involved in government and involved in the city is a great way to help diversify the city. When it comes to the issue of drugs, I'm 30 years old, and I can tell you this is an issue that has touched close to home. I have lost more personal acquaintances than I care to count or recite to either prescription drugs or the opioid epidemic, which absolutely is an epidemic. This is the first year we've had more young Americans die from drug overdoses than from auto accidents, and this is the motor city, so that's an appalling statistic that I think we at City Council, I have to disagree with some people that we can do something. We actually have to give them access to early education programs, as Pat's mentioned, the DARE program, which we no longer have, which is a vital program to help keep kids not only off drugs, but to help give them access to the information that teaches them why they shouldn't do drugs. I'm volunteering next week at what's called Neighborhood Services Organization. I urge you to look it up. It's in downtown Detroit. That's where my office is. And it's actually a program, it's a nonprofit organization that's designed to actually get people off of prescription drugs and opioids. It has a variety of methods, but access to different government programs and incentives is certainly a part of it, and that is something we can do. We can legislate to Lansing, we can legislate and lobby to the federal government to bring access to these programs here. And that program also coincides with the homeless problem, which, drug use and access to government programs to help stop, reverse, and educate people on ways to get out of these situations are key. And I think that we can and we will do something about it. When it comes to, the homeless thing, Mr. Woolley said, I work downtown Detroit, the center of the campus, Marshall